Dick Van Dyke. Watch out for all the glasses. This.
All right, here we go.
How's it going, everybody? Thanks for hanging out with us on a Tuesday. It is Tuesday after all. Thank you, sir.
It is Tuesday.
Let's get this started.
It's a fine Tuesday.
You feeling it over there,
Oh,
Maddie?
you know it.
All right,
You know. All right, we got volume. We're good.
Changing things up in the WCAC. It's fresh slate for everybody. Welcome back to Tuesday night in the basement, deep within the heart of Kensington, Maryland. I'm Ken Marangolo. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, welcome to the WCAC Spectacular. He's Kevin Ricca.
I need two pair. Good to see you guys. Happy Lent to everyone. Happy Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday, all of it.
Definitely a Tuesday night. There's, if you could grab Mardi Gras, I mean, you're getting Mardi Gras every single year. When you plan on one night for a podcast, that's compelling. As long as we're doing this, we'll always be in the basement on Mardi Gras.
And I do know there's something that we all have in common that we didn't give up for this 40 days.
Podcasting, obviously.
Podcasting.
Tim Strachan?
It's a great night for me because when you're as big as I am, every Tuesday's Fat Tuesday. I'm glad I get to enjoy it with everybody.
I think you mean like big, like
one night a
famous.
year. It's a Fat Tuesday for everyone.
You mean like we've been
It's
celebrating Fat Tuesday for the better part of the last decade?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
All of us.
Every
Maybe
Tuesday.
not Ken.
Yes.
But yeah.
Senor Pete Schweddy.
Gentlemen,
Matt the Real Deal Seal.
nice to be back with you.
So I thought we would just kick things off by putting kind of a stamper on the basketball season. The Alhambra is this weekend. WCAC will be there.
What did you call it?
Alhambra.
Alhambra?
We went with Alhambra.
Alhambra.
Put a little
Alhambra.
ham in there. No meat
I go
tomorrow, but we
Alhambra.
can go all night tonight.
The
I thought I
Alhambra.
was on the wrong show for a
Fancy
second.
it.
The
I thought
Alhambra.
Make sure.
Well, we spoke to the good folks and I think I heard
Is
it
that how they
pronounced.
did it?
I heard it pronounced multiple ways. I
adopted
adopted.
income free.
Yeah.
However you want it.
Yeah. DeMatha, St. John's, Gonzaga, and PVI are
Yep.
going up
Yes.
to. What is that? I mean, what town is that?
Frostburg.
Is it Frostburg?
Well, it's
or
in
So
something?
it's in the
Fro-
Cumberland Gap.
Played
Yeah.
at Frostburg.
People call it,
They
generally
stay in
speaking, Cumberland.
but the games are
Valley.
played
Okay.
at Frostburg.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get out there and see that. But the basketball season's for the most part over. There were a couple games that have been played since the last time we all hung out here with Coach Steve Turner of the champion Gonzaga Purple Eagles.
And
Kevin,
how awesome was that?
oh, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
that part
how
that
awesome-
was amazing.
How awesome was he? He was
fantastic.
incredible. I can see why kids wouldn't want to play for a guy like that. It's
Yeah,
great.
he was an A+ guest.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
it was a lot of fun.
you could tell, and he wasn't hiding it or mixing words, that he wasn't excited to play St. John's again 2 days after they battled for the WCAC title.
Everyone's got a lot of problems with this. We're not going to beat a dead horse. We've been doing it on Twitter all week long.
Yeah.
I think everyone's on the same page. They're looking for a better way to go about it. Tough when you're sandwiched in between the Alhambra tournament and
Even the Alhambra.
and the numero uno, the WCAC, the one that everyone cares about. The Alhambra is a great ender. We all know what the big deal
is a
is. Who
great
wants to
ender.
win what? And it's just sandwiched in between that, and it's just not a great deal. And when St. John's gets a 7 seed, people are questioning why they would have to play Gonzaga.
Yeah.
2 days afterwards, it just didn't have that oomph. No one really wanted it.
At like 4:30 in the afternoon.
As far as yeah,
Right.
well, everyone else was starting
With another
practice.
game in between, too, by the way.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give them credit. They're looking for resolutions to this. They're looking for a better way, if you will, for the seeding and the scheduling. And it's just tough, man. It's tough with everyone's schedules, and that's what it was. And that's what happened. I think obviously a lot of the teams from the WCAC weren't exactly rip roaring ready to go, if you will.
No.
excuses. Eric Singletary over there at Sidwell. We all.
Congratulations, Derek.
Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Guys.
He's been down here.
been down
He's
here.
A good friend of ours and the show and all that. And what a performance he put on. Buzzer beater to even get to the quarters. A huge comeback in the second game and the big knockoff
Hey.
of Wilson.
As a Loyola alumni, I'm excited about the possibilities for a guy like Gibson maybe ending up wearing Greyhound
I
green.
mean, this kid just he doesn't look the part, but he plays the part ridiculous.
That's a great summary of this kid. Right? You will walk out on the court and you're going to be like, the last kid picked, but he's definitely the kid you want on your side.
The professor, if you will.
Basically.
Yeah.
Yep. The kid can do
Nice.
it all. And Dean Maislish deserves some credit too. The kid hit the 3-pointer at the end.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Congratulations,
The whole
guys.
team does.
Indeed.
I mean, hats off to you guys. No one's talking about you all year long, and then you go do that.
Yeah, not an offer on the squad until yesterday. So,
Yep.
pretty big time. But yeah, moving along, this WCAC thing historically ends at the Alhambra. The coaches love it. The players love it. It's a great finality
The
to
Alhambra.
the season. I love, there's some ham in there. Alham, I go with.
Well, ham and cheese, bro.
Alhambra. Yeah. No, it is. It's. I mean, we played in it. Back in our day in the '90s. It's from what I've heard, the same thing. I'm looking forward to going back at some point. And having
will.
that experience again. But
Very good chance
it was
First Amendment
fun.
Sports
It
can cover
was fun for us
broadcast it.
because you're battling all year long. You've already done the WCAC tournament. That's done with, right? This is just, hey, this is like extra, right? This is like overtime, on the season. You get to hang out with each other for a little bit.
You
there's
do.
That, there's that team room.
That's the coolest
You know,
part.
where everybody kind of can just mingle and get to know each other a little bit better. I know that they do it more now because of social media. We didn't have that when we played, right? We didn't have that back when we were in high school. At the same time, we didn't go to the same schools and we hung out all the time, right? So, but it was a great way to do that. And
Kevin
I know
hasn't
the
admitted
coaches
to
let
that,
their hair
by the
down a
way,
little bit
at this
and
point.
hang out with each other, and they, it's fun for them too. It's kind of it's serious because the basketball's serious, but when you're away and you're staying with each other at the hotel and all that and doing some of the events and things they have, planned for the kids and the coaches, it's just a great way to end it all. It's really cool. And if you've never gone, go check it out. It's cool. It's great
The
basketball.
hospitality room
Yes.
is
Legendary.
notoriously legendary. I remember hanging outside of it, waiting for my dad. They wouldn't let me in to give me a couple bucks so I could go hit one of the greatest Roy Rogers of all time, right underneath the train
Yep.
tracks and underneath the highway there. Joe Geiger comes out. He's like, "Your dad will be right out here." And he said to me, it's one of his famous quotes. And he said, "I've lost a handful of games in my coaching career, but I've never lost at a party." And I said, "Man, sounds like it's a good time in there." "Oh, you're not allowed in here. Dad will be right out." So I'd like to find out what's behind that
But I
door
remember-
one of these days.
I remember in
We'll
the
get there.
80s when we were kids, and my brother Pooh Bear and my brother Brett both played for St. John's, would go to the Alhambra. And I can remember playing on, they had an arcade back then. They had the actual arcades, like the big, Centipede, playing Centipede while all the adults and stuff did their thing and had fun. It was, I've been there for 3-4 decades now, so.
Yeah,
Pretty
well,
awesome.
we were freshmen, sophomores in high school. People were demanding our autographs in the
Yes.
hotel
Oh, it's
lobby.
crazy.
I mean, that was insane.
Because those people have all been going to that tournament
Yep.
for decades themselves.
And then maybe in a couple years from now, they'll look at that and be like, "There's old fathead. Look at that signature. He switched it up, number 42 to number 12."
Must have been on a Tuesday. Look how fat he looks.
Yeah, there you go. Every day's Tuesday these days, too.
That's right.
But no, it is a really cool deal, and those kids are going to have fun. It is cool. The camaraderie of the teams getting to know each other. Four
Yeah.
WCAC teams staying in one hotel.
Yeah.
They know each other. They played against each other, with each other in the off seasons. It's a lot of fun.
But then
Coaches
you got
get to
teams
chop it
coming
up.
from Philadelphia, New York, always teams, coming from Canada for every once in a while. So
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
that's the Philly thing is toned out. There's no more. Baltimore still brings
Baltimore. Yes, yeah,
it. I
absolutely.
think
Yep,
what
yep,
is
yep.
it?
They change it up from time to
Goretti
time.
and Mount
Then
St.
you
Joe's
got
are in the mix.
Then you got the
Bishop
local
Walsh.
guys like Bishop Walsh.
And St.
You know.
Francis, I think.
They're the host, Bishop Walsh.
Bishop
hosts.
Walsh hosted it every year, and then St. Francis was in it when I was there. That's hey, fun times. Those guys are
good
gonna have a
ball.
blast this weekend.
Good luck, have fun,
Enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Yeah, finish off strong. That's
I
great.
think you can see First Amendment Sports there sooner rather than later. Is my guess. Potentially, maybe.
My wife is so pumped about
Teaser.
that. Super,
Teaser. Yeah.
super pumped for next year. Yeah.
Basketball. Let's call it time of 8:31. I think let's. I even though it was like 30 degrees today,
It's a
and
morbid way of hitting
there's
the
like
basketball
ice.
season.
Well, it is. It's over. I mean, I felt this bad. I felt it like this at the end of football season, and I didn't know what was in store for us for basketball, and I was so happy the way that it all played out on both the boys and the girls side all season long. It was so much fun. But I'm kind of sad in the same way I was at the end of football season. I'm
Yeah.
trying to pick myself up because we'll be doing this all throughout the spring season. There's a lot of awesome WCAC teams. I think there's a lot of awesome WCAC coaches in the spring seasons that we're absolutely going to talk about. We're looking forward to having some of those coaches on our show. And I thought we would spend a few minutes going through them, getting ourselves ready to cover lacrosse and baseball. Maybe a little golf. Definitely, obviously, some tennis is coming our
course.
way somehow, some way. Girls softball, and I think I want women to make sure. I think we're committed to doing the lacrosse finals in the same way we've been doing football and basketball. We're going to figure out a way to make that happen, and hopefully do games before then.
Without a doubt.
And but again, it's tough because being at center court for the WCAC tournament is definitely like a high of like the WCAC Spectacular Season 2. So I'm looking at some lax folks and maybe a McNamara tennis player or two to really pick me up this spring season.
Who's playing the number 3 for McNamara this fall or spring? Ken?
Don't even
All
get
right,
me started.
I'm looking
That's
for
another whole
a
show.
bat of some sort. Is there?
All right, so lacrosse season has started. Games are underway across the region. I saw St. Mary's from Annapolis down in my neck of the woods was playing Georgetown Prep, and I think Georgetown Prep won in a close one. They got a new coach, right?
Yeah.
Their old coach is it their old coach at our way now?
Yes, we've reported here during the stats that he won over 1 million titles at Georgetown Prep. Kevin Giblin is now at O'Connell at the helm.
Head coach. Nice.
Yeah, his numbers are bizarre. One of the many legendary coaches, but in the WCAC as of late, you have to start off with Casey O'Neill over at Gonzaga. Class of '96.
Class of 96. Yep.
Guys won 8 of the last 9 titles. He had a seven straight WCAC lacrosse titles in a row. 2017, St. John snuck in the mix there and got one. Gonzaga went ahead last year and took it back. 8 of 9. That's bizarre, and that's who everyone's going to be chasing.
Well, we'll get Casey down here for sure. He's already
Absolutely.
said he would come. We need all of us love Casey, root for him, obviously, but we're going to do that lacrosse championship, and Gonzaga's, all they've done is won every championship we've ever broadcast. So definitely the challenge is laid out to the WCAC in the spring.
I'm willing to make a gentleman's wager of $1 with each of you right now. Gonzaga will be there
in the game, in the
game.
final. Sure,
in the game.
Sure, and they've earned their reputation.
They
They've
have.
earned the right for people to say that about them. Good for them. Good for Casey.
I gave up dollar lacrosse bets for Lent. Apologize, man. Sorry.
Yeah, that's
I
smart.
just thought of that. I just thought
You know
of
what?
And because you
I
love him so
just
much, it's
did
a sacrifice.
that. I know it really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's gonna be sick. The WCAC's made a strong push. It used to be very, very top heavy. And I'm not just talking about Gonzaga, but now, I'd say there's four or 5 teams out there that have a legit crack at it when you get down to it, going through a full season. I'd like to welcome the Heights to their first season, playing in the WCAC. They actually played all 7 teams last year. They had I think they went 3-4. It did not count towards the WCAC. That was kind of the initial, feel your way through. And this year those games count, and they're looking to battle. It's gonna be very interesting. It's just like every other WCAC team. There's legendary coaches. There's guys on streaks like Casey O'Neill in that program, and there's a bunch of people like the St. John's young kids that won it 2 years ago, looking to have another shot at it. Paul the Six, they're on the map. They've played some great lacrosse here lately. They're the defending Virginia State champions, private school. They were in the mix last year and then couldn't get over the hump, but it's what we got here. It's what we do.
It's a fertile lacrosse area to pull from, and that in the WCAC is starting to get lacrosse players now. Whereas the lacrosse players weren't naturally going to the WCAC, and now they are. There's some programs on the rise as well. I just think when you talk about Casey and Gonzaga winning 8 of 9, just the fact that someone else was able to get one in there. I mean, the St. John's program is obviously on the rise.
Yeah, Wes Speaks has done a great job. 2 years ago, shocking the world. Last year going ahead and beating Landon and Prep for the first time in the same year in school history. There's a couple guys that I keep my eye on over there. TJ Haley and Ben Williams, my guys. Want to wish them luck for a successful and healthy season this year. And St. John's in general are going to be right there competing at the end.
I'm just excited to see you guys on the lacrosse field. We're going to Darren McClinton Froghorn's going to be out there for sure with us. He's boning up over at Bullis on the daily.
Working out the long pole
He says
defensive skills.
He's interviewing people.
Given what he does for guys on the basketball court in terms of their training, he could do wonders for lacrosse players. It's similar
yeah.
movements.
Oh, yeah.
Without a
It's
doubt.
similar, athleticism and everything on the field. He could probably pick up
Yeah,
some business.
great. Darren's going to start training these guys. Everyone's
Yeah.
going to be shooting from
Yeah,
midfield.
right. You get ready for that 3-pointer, that 2-pointer.
Coach, I was
lot of
open.
shots.
I was in rhythm, and I was open.
You shoot.
2 toes pointed towards the net. Nothing
go.
easier. Got
Hey,
the feed.
as long as your
Shoot.
form
Time to
was there.
shoot. Yeah.
I'm trying to think. We'll try to get to a baseball game. I think that it's hard to do, but I think we can figure it out because I think it would be fun. Because the WCAC also has really good baseball.
Stellar baseball.
the-
Speaking of teams and streaks on championships,
Yeah, and that's another cadet story. Coach Gibbs.
5 in a row for Mark and the cadets over there.
5 in a row, man.
Gunning for a 6th here, but they're going to have some competition this year.
Gonzaga's team is
Gonzaga will be there.
is very
DeMatha will
strong,
be on
and
the hunt,
DeMatha obviously.
for sure.
And Mark
All the
Gibbs,
sixth.
I've got it written down from St. Patrick's Day last year. He will be in the basement this season.
We'll confirm that again this year, but
yeah, we got to.
he's got a mic
He's
here
a
for you,
slippery one,
Coach.
man. I mean,
Yeah.
he shouldn't be getting away from us.
No, right in Silver Spring.
Do we
right
do
in
it
the
with
street.
Kevin? or
Wasn't
do
he-
Kevin
wasn't-
separately?
Wasn't he when we were like
I think
juniors?
maybe we'll have Kev call in.
How
You
old
know,
was he
you know?
your year?
Yes, 96.
Yeah.
Yep.
He was a little young in back in the day.
Yeah, we were talking about
You
that.
can't be being like, I'll be there.
I
on,
actually was Mark Gibbs' 7th and 8th grade basketball CYO coach.
There you go.
I know. It's not making me feel great about this whole scenario you guys are discussing.
So let me ask you guys this, because both of you guys, you played baseball at DeMatha, right?
No, I did not.
Track, you ran track at least 1 year.
No, I did not.
You didn't even run track 1 year.
My senior year, I thought about it, but no.
Okay.
You'd think that there was a Fosbury flop in that situation at some point.
I can picture him in the super tight tank top with the short.
Why?
the
Why?
John
Why-
Stockton.
That
Why are
was
you
his
doing
wrestling. That's his wrestling
yeah.
On
singlet.
Fat Tuesday, we don't talk about that stuff.
That's his wrestling singlet. But that's another story.
True.
You need to give that up for Lent
Well,
quickly.
I guess the question I was going to ask both of you, I guess I'll ask you, is when you got back from the Alhambra, did you go straight to baseball practice the next Monday?
Mark Gibbs' father, Ed Gibbs, my freshman year, I played in Alhambra for Joe Gallagher. We came back on a Sunday. We had a game at Riverdale Baptist on Monday. I got to the field. He handed me my uniform and a box of cleats with real metal spikes.
Wow.
And I started at catcher, and it was about 39 degrees, and I was thinking, like, how did I ever get myself into this? I was up at Alhambra eating pizza and hanging out playing video games, eating at Roy Rogers yesterday.
Yep.
And now I'm here catching my man Doug throwing 92-mile-an-hour fastballs at me, and Riverdale Baptist was a top 10 team in the nation. So yeah, I think that's as close as I hadn't been to a practice or anything like that. That's when it goes. Monday
Like baseball
starts.
in temperatures like we have today is terrible.
It's not fun.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, it's better. I guess it's slightly better if you with wood than it is with the metal. But everyone plays with metal, so I can't even imagine. But yeah, the guys are out there playing baseball today, and the final, because we're make sure we're going to broadcast as many championships as possible. The finals of baseball in the WCAC are 2 out of 3, I believe.
Correct.
Where do they play
yeah.
that?
Nats Academy.
Nats Academy.
It's
Okay.
a great place.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, part of me loves the idea of just sitting around and shooting it with you guys, like while the baseball game's going on. I don't want to be disrespectful to the kids and the stuff, but I feel like if we're gonna do baseball, we got to get comfortable. Like real comfortable,
lot of filler.
extremely
Lot of
comfortable.
filler.
All right. You're
Come on.
How comfortable? Never mind. That hill at St. John's has notoriously been a great place to watch. Nats Academy, a great place to watch. There's a lot of great facilities. We'll figure out a great way to
Absolutely.
get that done. And take some suggestions when we have Mark come down to the basement. He might be able to help us out a little bit.
Yep. Let's see. Golf. Listen, I'm trying. We're like having this is half podcast, half planning meeting as we hit the spring season.
Yeah, please leave your suggestions in the box on the
Yeah,
log
before
out.
you leave,
Yes.
including don't have a planning meeting on a podcast again.
No,
what
but-
about you guys? What are you guys most looking forward to for the spring season?
Well, I just want to mention real quick before we get out of it, the women's lacrosse,
No, we're still in it.
ridiculous. Bishop Ireton has been dominant in the league for the last 5 years. Rick Sofield has won 4 of the last 5 WCAC titles and 4 of the last 5 Virginia private school titles.
Wow.
I mean,
It's a
they've
roll.
got a huge. They're on a huge roll. They were undefeated in league play last year. That's who everyone's chasing in women's lacrosse, and 21-3 with those kind of stats and numbers over a 5-year span. It's more of a culture and a program now than a team.
1-3.
And yeah, they're nasty. They're so good. They don't open up for another 2 weeks, so they're just sitting there watching everyone else play, biding their time.
Sure.
to when they do strike. And some of the best competition last year, Good Counsel, Holy Cross, Michael Haydover, Good Counsel, they were the runner-up. They only lost twice in conference play. It was both times regular season and in the final to Bishop Ireton. But, that's also played at an extremely high level. My sister's a lacrosse player. I've had the fortune of watching that sport. It's growing tremendously. And once again, the WCAC is beating their chest and saying, hey, we're here again. We have got one of the most dominant teams in the area and on the East Coast.
I love playing at Ireton. Yeah. Ireton's, I don't know if you guys have great memories there. I always love playing there, and I always remember them being good at soccer and lacrosse. To me, I lost to them in tennis all the time, but I think they were excellent in soccer and lacrosse always in the 90s and early 2000s. I mean, they should be pulling from that Alexandria area on the other side of the river as well. And that whole area, that's where lacrosse players are coming from. 2 and 3 and 4 generations older, like lacrosse families, all the way up and down the water, all the way around the bay. That's why I hope that McNamara can get back in it and put a team back together. In the men's lacrosse division, because they're getting good athletes at Bishop McNamara, and there's a lot of good lacrosse talent. Lacrosse talent in the state of Maryland is as good as it is anywhere in the entire country.
Yeah, because they're also starting at such a young age. They didn't actually have those club teams and programs, those youth leagues, when we were growing up. Mostly it was the guys that only went to like Mater Days and Landons of the world that
those
really
were the
ones
programs back then.
Were the ones that excelled at the game because they had so much more exposure to it. But now it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And not only that, I mean, it's got a rich history, of this area all the way up to Annapolis.
It's a Maryland State sport.
Yeah, but I look at lacrosse, men and women's lacrosse, much like I look at the men's and women's basketball. Right, when the athleticism's there, it's both very like high level kind of stuff, but the women's game is so much more tactical and fundamental in a way that when you're watching with some of these top teams that we're talking about, it's excellent lacrosse. It's awesome to watch.
It's just like all the other sports. It's being played at its highest level for this group and beyond, and it's execution.
Well, don't let me forget to mention Kate Hess at St. John's and Carrie Conquest at Paul VI also both had winning records in league play last year. So there's 5 teams coming back that had winning records in this conference. So it's going to come down to that Final Four once again.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome, and we'll be in the mix in one way, shape, or form.
And I don't know how we're going to do it, and we'll see how the season plays out. But on the girls' softball side, it's another sport that this area provides a healthy amount of talent. So these programs are amazing. Shout out to Coach Romano. She was my pre-calculus teacher, and
on your girls softball team.
And now she's still at McNamara coaching. Well, she was my girls softball coach as well, obviously. But she and the top collegiate programs are really starting to pull a lot from the WCAC now, and I think even McNamara she's put together a strong program, and I think there's a couple of D1 girls there as well. So. I like to get out to a game.
You got to let me talk about this guy. We got to say our First Amendment Sports farewell and wish a happy retirement. Tommy Orndorff, the head coach of Bishop O'Connell softball. He retired after last season. You guys know I'm a stats numbers guy. This guy just blows away. You just don't even, you can't even mention it without sounding ridiculous. But after a 33-year career, he won 24 Catholic League titles, we'll call that. As far as the WCAC has lasted, he's won 19 of the last 24. He's won 14 of the last 15 Virginia State private school tournaments. Over 780 wins. I mean, 20 or more wins, 26 consecutive times, and 3 undefeated seasons. Coach, you deserve a great farewell. What a class act. How do you run a program that wins like that? Cheers to you. That's as dominant of a program in any sport as you can possibly imagine. And we're going to wish Susie Williamson good luck. She's an excellent coach coming from Lee High School. She's been there 8 years, 2-time conference coach of the year. She works with the youth programs over there, the 14 and under team. She heads it up. She's going to be a great addition to the program. But Tommy Orndorff, wow. I mean, that just blew me away. I've heard about the man. I knew they had a very successful program. But when you crack those numbers wide open, I mean, that's bizarre. He should be in the Softball Hall of Fame nationwide.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Kind of like a Morgan Wooten of
It's unreal.
softball.
Unreal.
I think we just went down our wish list for people we want to try and reach out to at some point for this show over the course of the next month and a half,
You want me
2
to?
months.
I could tape this to the wall.
Yeah,
We
let's
could-
just highlight
so
it.
you can remind
Let's
us.
just highlight it
All
and
right.
have Benjamin hold on to it for us.
Fair enough.
Are we out of music? No.
Just put it on the to-do board. Right over
Sounds
there.
good.
Right here off
Yeah.
screen.
That's the do
Yeah.
board. Well, guys, I'll tell you what. It was a fun basketball season. It exceeded my expectations from a experience standpoint because I did like you guys. I didn't play in the league like you guys did, so you guys had kind of a different perspective and angle. Man, it just blew me away. Sitting courtside for those games, watching those guys play, watching all of them play, boys and girls. It was unbelievably amazing, and super thankful to have gotten a chance to see that. But for you guys, obviously, kind of cool, probably for having been on the other side of the table.
I was just so impressed with the class, the quality of kid, the class acts that we dealt with, that we interviewed, the young ladies, the young men. They were just so tremendous. The way they handled themselves on the court and getting to see so many old school people out there. I mean, we all got to talk to Mark Tillman. Carol Holmes came up, got to talk to him. My man Bob Wagner up in the mix. I mean, Seal, come on. We just sitting there looking at each other, chuckling a couple times.
Dwayne Simpkins.
Dwayne Simpkins, yeah. I mean, another class act. Oh, there's such camaraderie and such. I just want these kids to know that this lasts forever. We say it every week, and it does. And that was the thing I took away from it. I've gone to that tournament, found my little spot to sit over the last few years. But being right smack dab in the middle of everything and doing what we got to do and seeing the people, the so-called stars of the WCAC, the legends, the factors, the people that mattered, we looked up to since we were little. Now we're just down there shooting, talking about the game and checking out the kids. But the overall class, from the student athletes to all the way through the retirees that have been in this league their whole lives, that's what blew me away. That was the best part.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. The experience itself was unbelievable. To have been there for it in the front row, middle of the court seat was incredible. Being able to bring it to people who weren't able to make it, but seeing how it still didn't disappoint in terms of the crowds and all that, and the support it and the energy it all had. I thought the basketball season was awesome.
It was awesome.
I think at the beginning of the season, we all had an idea, pretty similar idea of what was going to happen, but then the roller coaster happened with the injuries to Paul VI, and then what they did to overcome that, and the fact that you thought the Mather was definitely going to be there at the end, and they didn't, but they fought almost till the end, and nobody was talking about Gonzaga at the beginning of the season, really, because they had, just let a bunch of guys go to the next level, and maybe they needed a year to kind of get back caught up, but they didn't, and they're young.
And you come to realize how much Turner's won.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
It's like a chance to appreciate that.
St. John's as well. Given a huge effort down the stretch. It was awesome to see. And then the girls' side, seeing how that played out, in the trilogy, and I just thought it was really cool, and it was so cool to be a part of.
Yeah, only in this league can you be a quiet top 5 ranked team in the area. And we had multiple quiet top 5 teams ranked in
And
the
also
area.
finding Matt Seal on the broadcast throughout
Always a
the.
fantastic
That's right.
I'm the
contest.
real deal.
Keegan, you'll get your prize.
You will get a prize.
If someone can
Keegan
bring
gets
us
a
that
prize.
stool, wait till you see the prize that you get for that.
The
Is
stool
that
he
in
was
the
sitting
works?
on,
Yes.
just to be clear.
Jeez.
I look forward to, but just so we're clear, we do have the ability to carry on a backpack, a live view that would allow me to stand behind the duo vying for #1 golf champion of the WCAC. Follow them around. I believe it's at Argyle. It's been at Argyle before, so I think we could stagger a couple cameras throughout as we move and bring you the final 18 that determines who the best
I
golfer
think
in
we
WCAC
should trick
is.
out a First Amendment
Golf
golf
cart.
cart.
There it is.
With
That's
a
what we
traveling
need.
camera.
Yeah, we would have the mixer and the director on a golf cart, and then we just have 2 cameras, and they'd just be charting around the course.
I might be a late scratch from that foursome. I'm
No.
feeling something coming
You're
on in 6 to 8 weeks. I can feel it starting right now.
Oh, it's happening.
We're gonna figure out a way to make this happen.
It'll work out.
Until next Tuesday, guys, we'll put maybe we'll do a pre-planning meeting and before our planning meeting
put it up on
next
the board.
Tuesday. Yeah,
Before.
put it on the board. Before and during
For and during.
and after,
Always after.
always after. He's Kevin Ricka.
Hey, thank you guys for checking us out. Good luck to all the student athletes this spring. Can't wait to check you out.
Tim Strachan.
Enjoy Fat Tuesday, everybody. Looking forward to a spring season. Congrats to everybody and all the young men And good luck to all you going on, the seniors especially. Good luck to everything you have ahead of you. And, hey, let's get this going for the spring season. Man.
Absolutely. Pete Schweddy, Matt the Real Deal Seal.
If the fall and the winter is a sign for us at the WCAC, we're going to have some fun this coming spring. So
That's like Phil Connors from Groundhog Day. That was,
was it?
yeah, it was, you kind of did the whole Pugsatawny thing. I liked it.
All right.
Yeah.
Action in the spring. Here we go.
Springtime is here. The WCAC Spectacular transitions to spring. I'm super optimistic and excited because I have no idea what's going to happen and what we're going to be able to pull off. But whatever we do, we'll be doing it for the first time, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun. We'll see you guys out there. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Marangola. This was the WCAC Spectacular. Still live.
Still live.
Still live. I got to
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. See you next week.